Two friends install a dating app and try their luck. The man tries to set up the perfect profile. A nice front picture,
Right?
a group picture to make it seem like he has friends, a picture in Paris to make it seem like he's cultured,
Oh God!
and a picture climbing mountains to make it seem like he's adventurous. After some hard work, the profile is ready. The woman doesn't feel safe sharing a lot of personal information, so she chooses the first picture she can find, and she's ready to go. They start swiping and hope for the best. At the end of the day, when the woman checks her phone, her like counter is full. Practically
Pretty
every
much.
profile she likes is an instant match. For the man, it's a different story. So far, he has only received a couple of likes and has 0 matches.
Oh
He
God! I ain't gonna lie to you. Dating apps for us guys make us work for the vagina, work for these females. I ain't gonna lie. Like when you finally get a match, you be like, yes, yes. You be so damn happy. You try not to mess it up or nothing. I ain't gonna lie. But when I do get likes on like Tinder or Bumble, it usually time to be transgender or like gay dudes, or if it is a female, it's not even in my city. It be somebody in Germany who like me. That's about it. If you get likes, if I get likes,
becomes frustrated with the app and starts questioning his self-image.
that's so
He
true.
puts so much effort into setting up a nice profile after all. Why can't he get any matches? To answer that question, we need to understand the numbers behind dating apps. I made a simulation of a dating app with 1,000 dummies to try to understand why men get so few matches. Dating apps can paint a distorted picture of what the real dating world is like. Some studies indicate that dating apps can have a negative impact on self-esteem, with a stronger effect on men. And women often have to find strategies to deal with.
You know what I
abusive
realized?
behavior.
You know what dating apps taught me? That it's better to talk to a girl in person than try to get a girl on a dating app. Because you have a better chance getting a girl in real life than on a dating app. For us guys, I'm gonna be real. Cause look, imagine if you was talking to 100 girls in real life. One of those girls will say yes. They'll give you a number or something. They'll give you a chance. You should get at least something. Dating apps, it doesn't matter if you like everybody. You still might not get no matches. It don't make no sense.
Apps. It's hard to understand exactly what's going on inside these apps because there's very little data available. However, we can make educated guesses based on the little information we have. I'll start with an ideal, unrealistic scenario, and we'll see how quickly things change when I start adding real-life variables. A side note, we're talking about dating with opposite genders. Same gender dating in dating apps has very different dynamics and is out of scope for this video. Since we're trying to make an ideal scenario, let's assume we have the same amount of men and women using the app. Let's also assume that everyone sees 100 profiles per day and that every profile is treated equally by the algorithm. I'm going to assume that users like 1 out of 4 profiles they see.
I like
This means
50%.
every user has a probability of 25% of being liked every time their profile is shown. Some of these parameters aren't realistic, but that's okay. We're gonna start like this and make it more realistic as we go. So, how many likes and matches will everyone get at the end of the day? Let's run the simulation. Okay, not too bad. On average, both women and men get 25 likes and 6 matches per day. So, why does this look different from real dating apps?
Exactly.
Let's start with reason number 1. There are more male than female users.
Ooh.
I was able to find user gender
That is
data for
true.
Tinder and Bumble, 2 of the most popular dating apps in the world. In both apps, there were significantly more men using the app than women. In our simulation, I'm going to keep it simple and assume we have 2 men for every woman, a ratio somewhere between Tinders and Bumbles. I ran the simulation again and the differences were big. I'm gonna give you a chance to pause the video in case you want to try to guess how many likes and matches users get.
That's tough. I feel like women get more likes than men, so I say women probably get like 30 likes, men probably get 10 likes. Number of matches, I say woman, it's gonna be lower, so it's gonna probably be like 8, and men, it probably be like 2. Ooh.
We now start to see the first signs of a gender imbalance in the results. Because there are 2 men for every woman, the number of likes received by the women doubled and the number of likes received by the men halved. And when we look at the number of matches, something interesting happens. Women received an average of 50 likes. Since they like 1 out of 4 profiles, you would expect them to get an average of 12 or 13 matches. However, they only get 6. That's because now there are so many male users that women don't even get a chance to see half of the users that liked them. They only see 100 profiles per day, and there are just too many men in the queue. At this point, it makes sense that women start to feel
And
a
another
bit
thing,
overwhelmed.
you know what I realized? Women, they got like a boss list on what they want from God. Either he gotta be funny, he gotta have blonde hair, he gotta do this. Us men, we don't really care. We just want you to look decent. If you look decent, you're gonna get a like. The only guys that critique very hard, unless you popular, unless you look like Michael B. Jordan or Ryan Gosling. If you look like me, shoot, you just gotta look decent, and guess what? You're gonna get a like. Okay, that should be real.
Likes to receive. Because they often encounter intrusive behavior from men, that also makes them think carefully about who they give likes
Oh
to.
God, that's so true. I didn't think about it as a woman, because if I was a woman, I can't just be liking every guy. Because guys, their only intention really is just to fuck. You got some that want to date and get married and stuff and have some kids, but most guys just want to fuck. Let's just be real. Cause I know why I got me on the dating app. That was my only intention. I'm gonna be real. I just want to fuck. Okay, if a girl like me, guess what the first question I ask her? You want to fuck? I ain't ask her nothing else. I didn't ask her how was her day or nothing. I thought if she liked me, that means she want to fuck. That's what I was thinking. I'm so slow. But think about it. I was just a young virgin horny boy. Okay. Okay. Now it makes sense why I only get 0 to 2 likes. Makes sense.
On the other hand, are starting to get a bit desperate. Because they don't get a lot of likes, they know they can't be too picky and start giving more generously to improve their chances of getting matches.
Oh God! That is so true. At first, when we jump into a dating app, we have a box like we want. Oh, okay, she gotta have some nice tits. She gotta have a nice personality. This and this. But then after a while, you be like, you know what? Damn this. I like everybody. If you're a female, guess what? You gonna get liked. Okay, you gotta look decent. I don't even give a crap if you look kind of ugly. You still gonna get liked. Okay. Most of them females, you wouldn't have dated or nothing. Some of them, you just trying to hit. But you just liking. You getting desperate. It's like, God damn. I had like every female on this goddamn app and still no matches? What the hell?
So reason number 2. Men give more likes than women.
That's true.
According to this New York Times article from 2014, men are nearly 3 times as likely to like a profile than women on Tinder. So let's use those numbers. I'm updating the simulations that women and men give likes in 14 and 46% of cases, respectively. So, how do you think this is going to change the results?
Ooh, so the average numbers of likes for a woman, it'll go higher, probably because us men getting desperate. So we, like he said, we start liking on every female. So they probably go up to probably, I say 80. Men will go down to probably, I said 8. The average of matches for a woman will probably be 10. I feel like it will go higher, but the men it will go lower, so probably 2.
Now the gender imbalance increases even further. Women get an average of 92 likes, whereas men only get 7. And because men like 46% of the users they see, these 7 likes result on an average of 3.2 matches. Women get twice as many, an average of 6.4 matches per day. But things can get even more complicated for the average male user.
What you mean?
Attractiveness is subjective, but the reality is that some profiles will be considered attractive by more users than others. Which brings us to reason number 3. A small share of the users get a big share of the likes.
That's so true.
In a Q&A post from 2017 on Hinge's official website, one of the engineers behind the dating app shared some data about this imbalance. He mentioned that certain people get exponentially more attention than others. He reported that about half the likes from men were given to about 25% of women, and half the likes from women were given to only 15% of men. This means that, especially with men, there's a small segment of users that get a large slice of the total likes. Let's try to include that in our simulation. I'm giving every user a score from 0 to 100% that determines how attractive they are perceived by other users. Until now, attractiveness has had no impact on the probability of getting likes. That means that every time a profile was shown, the probability of that profile being liked was 46 and 14% for women and men, respectively, regardless of their perceived attractiveness. I'm now looking for a new distribution such that the top users get exponentially more likes, but while making sure the average like percentages stay the same. I went for the simplest formulas I could come up with, and you can find my assumptions on the screen in case you're interested. Basically, I assume that users with an attractiveness score of 0 have 0% chance of getting likes, and users with an attractiveness score of 100 have a 100% chance of receiving a like. This is admittedly an oversimplification, but since I couldn't find any real data, I'm trying to keep it as simple as I can. With these curves, 50% of the likes given by men go to the top 27% of women, and 50% of the likes given by women go to the top 10% of men, which is quite close to the numbers reported by Hinge, so this should be reasonably accurate. Let's run our final simulation. You can try to guess the results now.
Oh man, this is so. I feel like the average numbers of likes for women probably go up. No, I think it'll go down to 70%, but the average number of matches will go down probably to 5. But the average number of likes for men will probably go up probably about 8. But the average of matches should probably go down to 1.
This was a bit of a trick question. The numbers stay the same. The difference is, now the distribution is skewed by the top users who get most of the likes. That means that the averages no longer describe the experience of the average user. So let's add a new metric. The median. In other words, how many likes and matches does the average user get? And now we can see the average male user only receives 1 like and 0 matches.
That's kind of right.
If you look at the average number of likes for different attractiveness scores, we see that the top 10% of male users get 37 likes on average, whereas the average users get somewhere between 0 and 1 like. And if you look at the average number of matches, something interesting happens. The top 10% of men actually get more matches than the top 10% of women. They get fewer likes, but because they're less selective than women, they actually manage to get more matches. I wonder if this also happens in real life. As I tried to make my simulation more realistic, the number of likes received by the average man went down from 25 to 12 to 7 to 1. Once again, this was just my attempt to simulate a dating app based on the little information that I could find. It may or may not describe your experience with dating apps. For example, I couldn't find data for the number of profiles users see every day, so I just assumed it was 100. And I didn't include factors like different cultures and demographics, and the impact of premium subscriptions that give advantages to paying users.